The Birmingham Open had already delivered everything tennis fans could have asked for. Alexandra Ila had fought through difficult matches, survived momentum swings, and showcased the resilience that has become one of her trademarks. The Philippine flags were flying throughout the venue. Chants echoed around the stadium. And as championship day arrived, the atmosphere felt electric. What happened next, however, was something few people expected. The final between Alexandra Ila and Nikola Bardenkova had all the ingredients of a classic. On one side stood Ila, the tournament's top seed and one of the fastest rising stars in women's tennis. On the other side stood Bardenkova, a talented Czech player determined to spoil the celebration. Adding another layer to the story, the two competitors had recently shared the court as doubles partners earlier in the tournament before suffering an early exit together. Now they stood on opposite sides of the net with a championship on the line. The crowd packed into center court, creating an atmosphere unlike anything seen during the week. Every point felt significant. Every rally carried tension, and neither player was willing to give an inch. The opening set was a battle from start to finish. Both players exchanged breaks and traded momentum repeatedly. Long rallies brought spectators to their feet. Every game seemed capable of changing the direction of the match. Eventually, Bardenkova found the breakthrough she needed. At a crucial moment, she secured a late break and served out the set, taking it 7-5. Suddenly, Ila found herself trailing. The momentum belonged to her opponent. The pressure was mounting, and the championship was beginning to slip away. But champions are often defined by how they respond when things aren't going their way. Ila responded exactly the way her supporters have come to expect. She refused to panic. She refused to rush. And she refused to surrender. After falling behind early in the second set, she immediately fought back. Point by point, game by game, she began shifting the momentum. Her confidence returned. Her shot-making improved. The energy inside the stadium started changing. Soon, the match was level once again. One set each. Everything would come down to a deciding third set. The final set delivered even more drama. Both players understood what was at stake. Neither competitor wanted to leave the court wondering what might have been. The pressure intensified with every game. A break here, a hold there. Momentum swung back and forth. At times, it seemed Ila had seized complete control. Moments later, Bardenkova would fight her way back. The tension became almost unbearable. Every point felt larger than the one before it. The crowd sensed history. The players felt the weight of the moment. And the championship hung in the balance. Then came one of the most talked about moments associated with the match. As the contest approached its decisive stages, spectators found themselves witnessing something that quickly became a topic of conversation among fans. For a brief moment, attention shifted away from the tennis itself. The intensity of the championship battle gave way to surprise, confusion, and disbelief. People looked at one another trying to understand what they had just seen. Players paused, officials reacted, and the crowd erupted with emotion. Some laughed, some gasped, others simply stared in amazement. It was the kind of unexpected scene that instantly becomes part of tournament folklore. The kind of moment that social media loves. The kind of moment that people continue discussing long after the final point has been played. But once the interruption passed, the focus returned to where it belonged. The tennis. The championship. The players who had spent the entire week earning their place in that moment. And with the title hanging in the balance, Alexandra Ila walked back to the baseline. The crowd rose to its feet. The noise returned. The tension returned. Everything she had worked for during the week was now only a few points away. One final challenge remained. One final push. One final opportunity to turn an unforgettable week into a championship victory. And as she prepared to serve, the entire stadium waited to see what would happen next. The interruption was over. Security personnel had restored order. The court was clear once again, and the championship match was ready to continue. But something unusual lingered in the air. For a few moments, the entire stadium seemed frozen between disbelief and amusement. Thousands of spectators sat quietly, trying to process what they had just witnessed. The tension that had been building for more than 2 hours had suddenly been replaced by confusion, laughter, and countless conversations happening all at once. Around the stadium, fans exchanged stunned looks. Did that really just happen? Was that actually real? Nobody seemed completely certain. Even the commentators sounded as though they were struggling to find the right words. After all, tennis has produced its share of unforgettable moments over the years. Rain delays, controversial calls, epic comebacks, championship heartbreak. But this felt different. This felt like one of those bizarre moments that instantly becomes part of sports folklore. The cameras focused on Alexandra Ila as she returned to the baseline. Her face told the story. There was determination. There was concentration. But there was also a hint of disbelief. The kind of expression someone wears when they're trying to refocus after witnessing something completely unexpected. Across the net, Nikola Bardunkova appeared equally surprised. The two players briefly exchanged glances. A small smile appeared. Then it disappeared. Because despite everything that had happened, the championship still needed a winner. The match wasn't over. The trophy was still waiting. The umpire called for quiet. The crowd slowly settled. And little by little, the focus returned to tennis. The cheers started again. The flags began waving again. The chants returned. But something had undeniably changed. The pressure that had gripped the stadium all afternoon had eased. For a brief moment, everyone had been reminded that sports can be unpredictable in ways nobody expects. Sometimes the biggest stories aren't planned. Sometimes they appear out of nowhere. And sometimes they leave an entire stadium shaking its head in disbelief. As play resumed, Ila bounced the ball repeatedly at the baseline. 1 bounce. 2 bounces. 3. Trying to lock back in. Trying to return her attention to the challenge directly in front of her. Because championships are not won with distractions. They're won with focus. And now she needed every bit of hers. Meanwhile, outside the stadium and across social media, conversations were already exploding. Clips from the match began spreading rapidly. Fans shared screenshots. Reaction videos appeared almost instantly. Group chats filled with messages. Sports pages debated the strangest moments they had ever seen during a tennis tournament. What had started as a championship final was quickly becoming one of the most talked about sporting events of the weekend. Some fans discussed the tennis. Others discussed the unexpected interruption. Many discussed both. That combination only added to the spectacle. Because the match itself had already delivered drama. Now, it had a story that people would continue discussing long after the final point. Social media users flooded timelines with jokes, reactions, and memes. Some focused on Ila's attempt to remain composed. Others joked about the timing. A few simply celebrated the fact that sports can still surprise us. The reactions came from everywhere. From tennis fans. From casual viewers. From people who normally don't watch the sport at all. Everyone seemed to have an opinion. And with every passing hour, the story grew larger. Yet amid all the noise, one fact remained unchanged. The championship still had to be decided. The title still had to be won. And Alexandra Ila still had a match to finish. That was the remarkable part. Because while the crowd was laughing, while social media was exploding, and while the tennis world was trying to make sense of what it had just witnessed, Ila somehow managed to return her focus to the task at hand. Champions have a unique ability. They can acknowledge the chaos around them without allowing it to control them. They can smile at the absurdity of a moment and then immediately return to work. And that's exactly what Ila appeared determined to do. The crowd settled. The noise softened. The stadium leaned forward once again. Everything now came down to the next few points. The trophy was within reach. History was within reach. And after one of the strangest interruptions anyone could remember, the Birmingham final was ready for its final chapter. As the story spread online, fans couldn't stop talking about it. Screenshots circulated across social media. Reaction videos appeared within minutes. Memes seemed to multiply by the hour. What had started as a championship final was rapidly becoming one of the most discussed moments of the grass court season. Some fans focused on the tennis. Others focused on the interruption. Most couldn't stop talking about both. Humor quickly took over the conversation. Creative edits began appearing everywhere. Sports fans transformed screenshots into jokes, reaction images, and playful tributes to one of the strangest moments associated with a tennis final in recent memory. The internet did what the internet always does. It turned surprise into entertainment. But amid all the laughter, one detail remained easy to overlook. Alexandra Ila still had a championship to win. And that's what made her response so impressive. Moments earlier, the atmosphere had been completely disrupted. The focus had shifted. The tension had disappeared. For many players, that kind of interruption could have been difficult to recover from. Championship matches are built on concentration. Rhythm matters. Momentum matters. Mental focus matters. Anything that breaks that rhythm can change the outcome of a match. Yet, Ila somehow found a way to reset. She returned to the court. She locked back in. And when the biggest points arrived, she delivered. That's what champions do. They adapt. They adjust. They move forward, regardless of what is happening around them. When the final point was eventually played and the trophy presentation began, the crowd erupted. The journey was complete. Another title had been added to her growing resume. Another milestone had been reached. And another chapter had been written in what continues to be one of the most exciting young careers in tennis. The following day, conversations about the tournament continued around the world. Some people discussed the quality of the final. Others debated the best rallies. Many reflected on Ila's remarkable comeback. And, of course, countless fans continued talking about the unexpected scene that had briefly captured everyone's attention. But as the headlines evolved and the social media frenzy slowly faded, the bigger story remained unchanged. Alexandra Ila had won. She had survived a difficult final. She had overcome pressure. She had responded to adversity. And she had lifted the trophy. That's ultimately what champions are remembered for. Not the distractions. Not the interruptions. Not the unexpected moments that briefly steal attention. Champions are remembered for how they perform when everything is on the line. The Birmingham tournament delivered outstanding tennis. It delivered drama. It delivered emotion. And it delivered moments that fans will remember for years. Most importantly, it showcased a young player continuing to prove that she belongs among the sport's brightest rising stars. Because while strange moments may capture headlines for a day, great performances leave a much longer legacy. And as the grass court season continued, one thing felt increasingly clear. Alexandra Ila wasn't just collecting victories. She was building momentum. She was building confidence. And she was building a future that looks brighter with every tournament she plays. If this championship taught us anything, it's that tennis remains one of the most unpredictable sports in the world. One moment you're watching a tense championship battle. The next, something completely unexpected captures everyone's attention. But when the noise fades away and the spotlight moves elsewhere, the result still matters. The trophy still matters. And the player standing at center court holding that trophy is the one whose story continues. For Alexandra Ila, Birmingham wasn't simply another tournament. It was another step forward, another reminder of what's possible, and another reason why tennis fans around the world are paying attention. Because the biggest question surrounding her career is no longer whether she is talent. The biggest question now is just how far that talent can take her. And if recent performances are any indication, the answer may be much higher than anyone imagined. So if you're following this incredible grass court season, keep your eyes on Alexandra Ila, because the next unforgettable chapter may be closer than you think. And unlike the rumors, speculation, and social media chaos that often surround the sport, one thing is absolutely real. Her rise is only beginning.